This is the Cheese Rolling Derby, a very unusual sport played in the UK. And this is the Cheese Rolling Derby totally made up from LEGO. Today I'm taking some of the weirdest sports in the world and rebuilding them all in LEGO. And trust me, it's gonna get weird. I'll be spinning this wheel full of weird sports, and whatever lands on, I'll have to build in LEGO. Apparently, laser tag is a sport. For this one, I didn't just slap down a base plate, instead I built the floor from scratch using layers of plates to give it some side detailing. Then I added a tall tower on one side for the start of the bridge, because every laser tag place has one and it would be boring without one. I added these black and red supports for the bridge and the staircase for, of course, the minifigures to get up the bridge. Then I finished off the bridge by adding the floor and railing so that the players don't fall off. Safety first, even for plastic people. With the red side finished, it's time to build the blue side. I built those hide behind walls using those collectible minifigure stands, and yeah, stacking those was a pain. But definitely worth it because the final result of the wall was great. I built another wall and added both of them to the build. To finish this arena off, I made a giant wall in the middle to divide both of the teams. Just make sure you don't look too closely at the build because there's just a lot of dust. Then I brought in the players, 4 red, 4 blue, all armed with the laser guns. And I've got to be honest, red team has the high ground, and if Star Wars taught me anything, that means blue is kinda cooked. This is actually the smallest build in the video, but definitely one of the coolest ones. The next sport is Cheese Rolling Derby, the one shown in the intro. It's a popular sport in England and apparently loved by people who don't even care about their body parts. The rules are simple: roll a giant cheese wheel down a super steep hill, first one to get it wins, and a trip to the ER. I started with a steep hill made from tons of layers of bricks. Then I covered the surface in these green cheese slopes to give it more detail. Also, I think my thumbs hate me now. Building steep hills with LEGO is like giving a massage to a cactus. Anyway, speaking of cheese, I used this 2x2 cylinder piece for the cheese wheel and put it rolling down the hill. I layered the hill off with some leaves and grass so that I could place some minifigures in some weird positions, making them look like they're having a fun time breaking their bones. To make the top of the hill look legit, I had some trees, leaves, and this funny looking cheese shack with even a large cheese slice on the top. Also, I had a few bonus characters such as Steve from Minecraft getting absolutely bodied by a creeper, and the skeleton who clearly didn't win last year's race. Honestly, this might be one of the most ridiculous things I've ever built on this channel. It's chaotic, colorful, and this thing weighs so much heavier than you think it is. This next sport sounds like a sci-fi fever dream. It's called drone jousting, and yes, people actually play this. It's exactly what it sounds like. 2 drones fly at each other trying to knock the other one out of the sky. To keep it simple, it's like medieval jousting but with drones. For this build, I wanted to go big. So big you could carry a minifigure. So I'll start off with the first drone, which is going to be mainly white. I started off by building the base of it, which looks really similar to an actual drone. Then I built a propeller using some pieces in a complicated way. I built 3 more of them to get 4 propellers. I attached all 4 of them to the base, which finishes off the drone. Next, I slapped on a glass pod right on the top to seat the pilot. Who's the pilot, you might ask? Well, it's Marcy, the absolute Giga Chad in Charlie Brown. She's done doing homework and now she's piloting war drones. I don't know. Which now finishes up the first drone. I mounted the whole thing on this invisible stand to make it look like it's flying. To spice the battlefield up a bit, I threw in a red shipping container on the side using these cool, large red pieces. I also added a garbage can because every outside sport needs one of those stinky garbage cans on the side. Hopefully that's relatable to y'all, otherwise that'd be kind of weird. For the second drone, I decided to make it more unhinged. I used a giant tire for the base because who needs physics when you have imagination? Quote of the day. After that, I built 4 propellers using some weird pieces like minifigure legs, which I think gives it that touch of uniqueness. Now we just have to add in a Harvard student in the drone, which finishes this build off. I add some scenery such as trees, plants, and this tiny electrical unit. And here's our referee. He's probably not getting paid enough for this, but it is what it is. Who will win? Brains versus student depths. Let's find out. Marcy takes the W. Maybe homework really does pay off. This build was a blast and probably like one of the most technical so far, and definitely the weirdest LEGO joust in history. Alright, this next one sounds made up. It's called underwater hockey. It's just a tiny bit less tense, I'm pretty sure, than a normal hockey game. We'll start off by using this pool with a lifeguard chair, bench, and some diving boards. But we'll be hosting this party all the way at the bottom of the pool. Underwater hockey uses these tiny goals that go on the pool floor, so I lined up these black pieces to make the two small goals, one on each side of the pool. And well, for the players, I browned the big guns. Team Red has Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Hawkeye. Team Blue has Loki, Venom, Ultron, and Wolverine. I also used these tinted blue pieces to make it look like they're swimming in the pool. I made custom mini hockey sticks for all of them. They do all look like tiny spatulas, but it gets the job done. I put the hockey puck in the center and the underwater section is done. To add a little bit more, I added some Marvel characters at the top with even Spider-Ham as the lifeguard. There is still a back section in the pool that I haven't filled up, and honestly I don't have any clue what to put in there. Comment below your ideas. This was a short sweet build, but also a funny one with a ton of popular Marvel players playing underwater hockey. This last sport we're going to be building is called Quidditch. Quidditch, if you didn't know, is a magical sport from the franchise Harry Potter. I guess it's like ultimate frisbee and lacrosse combined into one magical sport. So I did a little off-camera building to get the main layout of the Quidditch field, since the shape is pretty complicated to make in Lego. I had 4 different colors on each side to represent the different houses, such as Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. Then now, time to build the towers surrounding the field. This was really easy because it was like the same color of the houses. The field is looking really cool, but there isn't a field without a goal. In the movies, the goals are these 3 circles connected to the ground, so I built 3 of them. One of them is just taller than the others. Then I also put more goals on the other side. It's looking a little plain on the outside of the field, so let's add some trees and grass everywhere. I found these invisible pieces that could be connected to the ground in a legal way, so I put some minifigures with brooms on the pieces to make it look like they're flying. I put a lot of Hogwarts students everywhere around the stands to give the game an audience. At the end, this build turned out great and definitely one of my favorite ones. Well, with Quidditch done, we're finished building all the weird sports in Lego. If this video gets 2,500 likes, I'll do a part 2, where I build even weirder sports. Thanks for watching, and YouTube suggests to watch one of these videos. This one's my favorite. Click on that one.